Something great for you. I have yet another video where I actually show you a video hunt. So this is really cool because I didn't do any video hunts in like quite a while. I mean, I would go, generally speaking, just to Seoul, and it would be the places I've showed you before, although I can show you those places again, but it's pretty much the same inventory or maybe even less tapes. But today we are going to Daejeon in it's kind of like southern middle part of South Korea. So it's south of Seoul, of course. The place I'm showing you today, this place, I mean, I have two places I want to show you. So the first place is a little, like, it looks like an abandoned, like, shed. Really, it's like, there's no better word because it doesn't look like it's a store at all. It just looks like it's a shed, like a storage place. And if you look at the shelves, it says like pharmacy at the top. So was that like an old pharmacy back in the days? I don't know. And it turned out to be like a videotape shop. But as you can see, I mean, look at the dust on those shelves. It's worse. It's probably one of the worst places I've ever been to. In case, I mean, in terms of dust, it's almost like there's a layer of sand on those tapes. I mean, not the ones I'm showing you there, but there's on like right behind me, let's say. There's a bunch of comic books, and behind that there are like a bunch of tapes. And in that particular place, in that shop, I found perhaps the most amazing tapes I found in years. And to be honest, with the shops I'm showing you today, this day alone was probably my best haul since 2019. Oh, by the way, you see the comic books there? So the tapes behind that on the shelf, the ones at the bottom were probably like the best catch I had. Amazing movies I found there, like even tapes I've never seen before. But I'm keeping some surprises. I'm going to show you that a bit later on this week. I'm just cleaning all those tapes because, as you can see, they're like, that place is really filthy. Except the back room there. That back room is pretty clean. But the only thing though with that shop is, as you can see, some of the spines on the tapes were a bit sun faded and a bit beat up. But the tapes inside turned out to be in pretty good condition, and that's why I ended up buying so many of them. I bought like about 55 tapes. So yeah. So here you can see more goodies on those shelves. I mean, I was like a kid in a candy store. Like I said, it happened the last time was like 2019, and it was also a shop in the countryside. And I made a little video about that. I'll just link it in the corner of the screen, so if you want to have a look at it. So here we have a nice Halloween 6. The box is all beat up. I had to change it, by the way. But the tape, as you can see, is pretty clean. So yeah, this shop was interesting because I was able to get a decent deal with the owner, although she didn't want to go down on the prices, although I took like literally 33 tapes in that place alone. But I still ended up with a fairly good price. I mean, compared with what I do pay usually in Seoul or online, it was well worth the trip, and for the good titles alone. Okay, our next stop is a bookstore. As you can see from the look of it, it's located in a basement. I mean, the tapes are located in the basement. And don't be scared by the mold that you see all over the place, because the basement was cool and not humid. So now I kind of understand why those tapes that you'll see, they are really well preserved. I mean, the boxes and everything, it's always the same. Like, they can be dusty, they can be sun faded in some cases. But what's amazing about this place is that like 99% of the tapes that I looked, I mean the cassettes, they were all mold free. And this is huge in 2022 in South Korea, because generally speaking, unless you buy from a collector, if you buy stuff like in a shop like this, there's no way like that many tapes will turn out to be mold free. So as you can see here, look, there's so many videotapes in there, and here you see a Last Cannibal, which I do have in stock already. So I think I ended up not taking it. I may go back and pick it up. But most of the tapes you can see here are from the 90s, which is not bad, because you have like several rare releases from that time period, especially some of the old 80s movies that had like a later release on Korean tape. You can find them there. So I mean, again, this compared with the other place was more like a kid in a candy store, because I mean the little aisles you see there are so narrow, so to look everywhere you're kind of filled with tapes, I mean, in your vision. So it's really hard to focus. I was looking at one pile, and then my sight like drifted to another pile, and I was like, okay, I have to go, you know, pile by piles, row by row, so that I don't miss anything. But there are so many good tapes in there. Once again, this is a store that I think we probably spend like at least 2 hours in there checking everything one by one. And for sure, I probably missed some stuff, because at some point I was kind of really hungry, to be honest, and a bit tired, because that day I had to wake up at like 6:30 a.m. to take the train to get to that town. But I do want to come back this weekend, or at least before I go back to work. So within the next 2 weeks, I want to go back. One, because prices were decent. And two, because the selection, as you can see, is just nice. And to find these tapes in Seoul, you can, but the price point will not be that great. And the condition also, I cannot stress that enough. The condition on those tapes, like most of them, was like mold-free, super clean cassettes. Again, it's just a question of, as you can see, the spines, they're a bit sun-faded, but again, for the rarity of the tapes, sometimes you have to go over that and say, you know, I'll pick it up, because chances I see it again won't happen. If we turn around here, there's 2 copies of, oh my god, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, as you can see, the box is a bit beat up. I have to change it. But it's been, I think, almost 2 years since I found that. And here you have 2 copies. And this, by the way, was not staged. I really did find those 2 tapes. And as you can see, I picked them up. I put them aside because I bought both. So yeah, everything you see here, I didn't go through. I'm just browsing as I go. It's the first look at this shop at this very moment. I think I ended up picking up about 17 tapes from that shop, and I did left a bunch, like this one, Hell on Wheels, which is apparently hardcore with George C. Scott, which has another release, by the way, which they have there in another pile somewhere around there, by the way. So yeah, and the good thing also, it's not really a good thing, but I mean, if you want something at the bottom of the pile, it's cool. I mean, it's a good thing if you're with someone, because someone can help you lift up the whole pile, so you can just pull out the tape So it's always good to have a friend that can help you out with those VHS hunts. And thankfully, I had my Korean friend right there who was really nice, and he actually showed me this place. So I'm extremely thankful to him. So here we have like another like more late release, 1408. Can't remember when that came out. I think it was like 2005 or something. So yeah, such a great selection. So like I was saying, I took about 17 tapes, and I think I left, I would say this could have been like another 20 I could have grabbed, if not more. Again, because I previously just bought 33 tapes, and usually about 50 tapes is more or less like the max I can bring. I'm not like a bodybuilder or anything, so space-wise, 50, like I usually put like 10 in my bag, 20 in 2 bags, and to bring that on the train with me, it's pretty heavy, and you don't want to, you know, bother other people on the train because this takes up a bit of space. So there you have another rare tape I just showed you. There were like tapes at the bottom right there, behind, but no stones were left unturned. I really did check everywhere in that shop. I mean, in that basement, so I could get the maximum rarities I could get.